Hey, what's up everyone? This is James. This is Immersion Worship, Worship Confessional, number 5. So, Scott was out of town this weekend again. He was at his 20-year high school reunion. So he was back in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had a guest speaker, Gary Cooper from Oasis in Los Angeles, and Coop brought an awesome message, more about that in a little while. And my father-in-law, John, was playing bass guitar for me, which was great. We kind of had a stripped-down band. It was just drums, 2 guitars, and bass, and just me on vocals. And it was a bit of a tough morning, but I think all in all it was job well done. So the first set consisted of Awesome Is the Lord Most High by Chris Tomlin. We opened with that, and I was really excited to do that. We've not done that in ages. I really enjoyed singing that song again, and I think the congregation did as well. And there was a good energy about it. We were struggling a little bit with our monitors, and various things went wrong yesterday, right from sound check all the way through to the end of service. But with that song, I think it just kind of set the tone for the morning, and it just helped us to kind of push through the struggles a little bit. And then we did Your Love Is Amazing by Brenton Brown, and that's it's one of those songs that can get repetitive real quickly, so we don't do it all that often. So I try and kind of space it out, like leave a couple of months between repeats, and it seemed to have a bit of a freshness about it yesterday. We sped it up and we rocked it a little harder than normal, and it went over real well. And then we closed with Because of Your Love. We did that last week, and that worked out real well too. Good energy and a good vibe just going into the message and the greeting. So the first set was real positive, real high energy, and I think really encapsulated our feeling of kind of celebration and wanting just to raise an anthem of a high praise for God. So it was good. So, as I mentioned, Gary Cooper from Oasis was with us, and he spoke. The title of his message was something like "Where It Is Ain't Where It Was," something to that effect. But I never remember titles. But the message itself was great. It actually talked about how when Jesus told Mary, after he'd risen from the grave, and Mary went to hug him, he said, "Do not hold on to me, Mary." And he kind of used that as an analogy for how we often try and hold on to the past, and but how God equips us and anoints us to prepare to deal with today and to deal with tomorrow. So it was a great message, and we followed the message immediately with Everything by Tim Hughes. And right before we started the song, I just explained the meaning of communion. Something that we do at the Summit is we have communion every week, but we don't pass the elements around. We have communion stations either side of the sanctuary, and during the worship songs at the end, we just kind of encourage the congregation to go help themselves to worship to the elements. And I just kind of explained a little bit about how communion is an act of worship, and we went from there. So we did Everything, and if you've been keeping up with these, you know that Everything we've done a few times now, and I really love the message of that song. Every time I sing it, it means something new to me. Just, this whole repetition of God in everything we do. God in my waking, my sleeping, my working, my resting, my dreaming. It's such a simple phrase, but so powerful. And then we followed it with You Never Let Go, which we finally did. If you'd seen last week's confessional, you'd know that it got cut for the second week in a row. But it's one of my favorite songs right now. I really enjoy singing it, not just because it's a great song, but the message as well, just kind of in the times that we live in. I think it's a message of hope for society. So I'm really pleased we managed to do it, and as a church we responded well to it. We really started to kind of move towards God even closer, and really start crying out to Him for breakthrough in our worship. So it was great. Like I mentioned before, we had some struggles with our technical setup, but that didn't detract from our worship, fortunately. So it was an excellent second set. Well, it was a struggle yesterday morning. During sound check, we had a problem with our compressor, and so we had some channels on our board that were uncompressed, my vocals being one of them, and a couple of other things. And I don't know, I don't want to get too technical, but when you lose a compressor, you lose a lot of presence out of your microphone, and it was a real distraction. So I had to try and push through that, and then there were problems with cables, and then my guitar amp started buzzing, and then the bass guitar cut out halfway through a song, and the devil was just throwing everything at us. We just had a tough morning. But these things come against us to try and stop us from worshipping, and they won't. I won't let them stop us from worshipping. I refuse to. So we'll pressed on, and we'll take care of the things that need to be taken care of this week. And still strive for the same excellence. But the one thing it has made me do is just kind of reevaluate where we're at with our reliance on technology to make worship services happen. So I'm probably going to blog about that a little more over the next few days. Thanks to John, who played bass this week, my father-in-law. He did a solid job as always. Next week we have Summit Unplugged again. Joe and I will be rocking it up with our acoustic guitars. So looking forward to that. Hope you have a fantastic Labor Day if you are in the United States. Enjoy it, get some rest, even though it's about 150 degrees outside. That's okay, they have air conditioning. See you next time.